All right, we'll hear from Ms. Dohme, and then I'll hear the summation of the state's argument. Okay. All right, Ms. Dohme, you may proceed.
First, I want to say thank you to the court and your honor for giving me the opportunity to speak today. This is an opportunity I'm very blessed to be alive to do. On January 24th, my life was forever altered because of Robert Burton. This man came to my house with tears of guilt, deceit, and manipulation to convince me into walking outside. He told me if I gave him 2 seconds of my time, he would never bother me again. He requested a simple hug and just wanted some closure. The moment I walked outside, leaving my sleeping mom and brother unaware of what was about to happen, I felt the sharp pain of the switchblade beginning to stab me, first in my shoulder, then neck and face. I begged and screamed for Robert to stop. Give me a chance. Please let me live. But no one heard me, and anything I said was not making him stop. But then came stab 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Blood was everywhere. I was completely covered in soaking wet. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 stabs, and I was becoming very weak, and my fight was no longer working. It's hard to fight when the fight's not fair. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I was being straddled in the middle of the street by a man 1.5 feet taller and 130 pounds more than me. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 stabs, and I saw a girl with a phone trying to help, but then it only got worse. He went back and got the larger knife. Now, 26, 27, 28 stabs through my face, my neck, my arms and hands. 29, 30, 31, and finally the vicious attack was coming to an end as Robert's hand came down with the blade for the final stab wound, number 32. Robert left me lying in the road. The horrific fight was over and he drove away, leaving me alone to die. I felt myself drifting away and dying in the road. I could no longer move or scream, so I began to do the only thing I had the strength left to do. I prayed. I first said a prayer to be saved because I was only 20 years old and I didn't want my mom to walk out to see my murder. But once I realized it was too late and I wasn't going to be alive much longer, for seconds felt like slow and grueling minutes and no one was around. I just prayed to God to forgive me of my sins and take me to heaven. Your Honor, I want you to think of putting yourself in a parent's shoes. If they were sleeping inside like my mom was, no idea that a man was attempting to murder their child just feet from their front door, what length of time would any parent want this man off the streets? I was a victim, but I am now a strong survivor. Although it was a very long struggle to get this far. Time and prayer has healed my heart, but the physical damage is forever permanent. Once first responders arrived and I was airlifted to the hospital, I was repeatedly resuscitated, and my family was told I was so critical they didn't think I would make it, and if I did, I would never be the same. At this point, I was a straight-A college student, employee at Morton Plant, and I had dreams to be a nurse, neonatal nurse practitioner. The life I knew was ripped right from underneath me. But why? An ex-boyfriend was jealous that I left him and moved on. I suffered a stroke that forever altered my balance and inner crystals that control the dizziness. He knocked out numerous teeth, and for 1.5 years, I didn't have any. Like my mom said, I've had the root canals, fillings, braces, multiple retainers, and finally surgeries to get dental implants just to get my back my smile to how it was before. And in a couple weeks, I will finally get the permanent tooth. Robert severed the facial nerve with his knife, and I now have facial paralysis on the right side. I will never be able to smile at the world like I used to. I can't lift my eyebrows or move my cheek, and I'll never be able to. The damage is permanent. I can close my eye now, but only because of the surgery 3 months ago in Boston's Facial Nerve Center. I will need treatment for the paralysis and synkinesis, he caused every 3 months for the rest of my life. Trips to Boston will be costly, but it's our only choice. My nose, skull, and jaw were fractured. My hand muscles are gone from his knife cutting through them. Can't squeeze things, open jars, cut my own food. My left arm is weak and always in pain because of the nerve damage in my neck and shoulder from the very first 2 stabs. I had to attend speech, physical, and occupational therapy for a 1.5 years. During therapy, I had to relearn how to live again, starting with how to walk, hold a pencil, brush my own teeth and hair, then gradually moving forward with cognitive therapy. The straight-A student I was before has been taken from me, and I now have trouble paying attention to detail and focusing because of the trauma. It was like I was a 20-year-old child, leaving me dependent on my family when I was in the hospital and for the following months. Emotionally, I attended counseling for over a year, and they told me I had PTSD. Nightmares and flashbacks will haunt me forever. The stress, pain, and emotional as well as financial damage he caused to my family is irreversible. It was difficult dealing with my own pain, but seeing my mom suffer has been unbearable. Your Honor, I pleaded and begged for Robert to stop. Anything I said didn't matter to him, and I want you to think about this as the defendant is pleading for anything other than a life sentence. I didn't get the chance to walk away with 10 or 20 stabs, but only until he believed I was finally dead and that my life was taken. It took 32 stabs for him to stop. I believe the only justice in return is a life sentence. He has no regard for human life, as you can see from his actions he displayed, and if he was to be released in 10 or 20 years, there's nothing stopping him from finding me and finishing what he attempted to do. I will forever be in fear, and any other woman would be too. Robert Burton is extremely dangerous and capable of anything. I truly believe I'd be in fear for my life and other lives every day if he was ever walking the streets once again. I think other women hiding in the silence of abuse would be encouraged to remain silent, because even in a horrific case like this, the defendant can still possibly get out and return for revenge. He did everything in his power to take my life, so please, Your Honor, grant him the same in return. By the grace of God, this isn't a first-degree murder case in your court today. I flatlined 4 times. I know I was saved for a reason, and that's why I'm here today. I have survived this attack not to live my life regretting and moping in self-pity, or to be scared and always watching my back. I survived to move on and change lives of other women. I have survived to speak up and give hope to the hopeless and to show people that it is possible to take something horrific and turn it around. The only thing I came here to tell directly to Robert Burton is that I forgive him. When you choose to forgive those who hurt you, you forever take away their power. And that's what I'm doing today. Robert, I forgive you for coming to my house and attempting to murder me. Forgiveness is a sign of letting go. Today I'm letting go of any memories, any pain, any hatred. I'll never forget all I've been through, but I'll never look back and be upset. I will always have these physical scars to remind me forever of what happened, but I am beautiful, and he will never take away my happiness. Robert showed me how strong I really am. You tried to knock me down, but you forgot to remember that God was waiting behind me to catch me, save me, heal me, and love me. Your Honor, after hearing all that my family and I have been through, I hope you realize why I'm asking you to impose a life sentence for Robert Burton. Thank you again for giving me this chance to explain how his actions have changed my life. All I ask is for justice and nothing more.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Holmberg, if you could present your client at the podium to make his statement. I'll then need to take a recess to consider the sentence.